Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you a People magazine article. If you look up Trump and Biden, you'll get Biden questions how Trump was able to store classified data at Mar-a-Lago. And then Biden questioned how anyone could be that irresponsible after hearing about document found at Mar-a-Lago. Then they asked him, well, how was he able to store the documents? And he responds, quote, I have not asked for the specifics of these documents, he told 60 Minutes, because I don't want to get myself in the middle. I don't want to get myself in the middle of whether or not the Justice Department should move or not move on certain actions they could take. You couldn't get more partisan than the same people who are pretending to be apolitical and hands-off. Meanwhile, you have former bureau officials, agents at the FBI, resigning because they covered up the Hunter laptop and email story. So two officials, one was forced to resign, are implicated by people within the Bureau going to Chuck Grassley saying, yeah, there was a concerted effort by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to cover Hunter's laptop emails that show clear violations of the law, graft and bribery, kickbacks. I mean, you name it. That's what those emails show. And there's 150 suspicious financial transactions, but they just started investigating him at the Bureau now. 2 years after the New York Post broke that story, and social media algorithms used the work of those two agents and other people within the Bureau to silence and censor any discussion on social media platforms. Okay. Of that topic. Okay. But, God forbid, Mashed Potato Brains gets involved. He's totally apolitical and nonpartisan. As he spent the past, month with in a speech with a red backdrop and two Marines in the background with this ominous, nightmarish kind of dystopian 1984 Big Brother telling you that if you don't vote Democrat, it will be a menace to democracy. And democracy will just fizzle away and, evaporate before your very eyes if you don't vote Democrat. My God almighty, the soul of our nation. So he can get into the soul, these theological things he doesn't even believe in. The soul of our nation, the Constitution, the Republic, the democracy. Our democracy is at stake. But he can't tell you. He just doesn't want to get involved in the Department of Justice. Yeah, right. Trump is being investigated, unlike Hunter, and unlike the way Hillary was. And by the way, watch the short. My short now actually has a title, and it's Trump cleared of any criminal conduct. Watch that short. You will love it. And it's already almost at 4,000 views, but I actually added a title to it. Before it was just H.A. Goodman short. Now it's Trump cleared of any criminal conduct. And James Comey, in his own words, James Comey speaks on that short. And he explains how Trump is cleared. If you don't believe me, watch it. You will love it, and share it with anyone who thinks that Trump is going to go to prison for his whole life. Actually, don't share it with, because that person is very likely completely apoplectic and, almost always hysterical on anything to do with politics. But so don't share it with anyone who might find it, who is a wonderful, morally superior, highly educated, beautiful, moral, liberal Democrat. Just share it with people who would enjoy James Comey stating that Trump is cleared of any criminal wrongdoing. But hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are very close to 200,000 subs. And we haven't even hit midterms yet. We're very close. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'll be growing those definitely in October. Starting October, you'll have a lot of segments of H.A. Goodman on this channel, the Stock Market Crash channel, and H.A. Goodman's other channel. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. If you want to give a super thanks, the super thanks is below. Ladies and gentlemen, he would have stated in detail how the orange menace in the middle of the night tiptoed, holding on to cheeseburgers and, Burger King meals and Coke and classified data, tiptoed out of the Oval Office in the middle of the night when he was about to leave and give the presidency to Mashed Potato Brains. And he would have explained exactly how the crime occurred. How a former president with the power to classify and declassify, how a former president with the highest level security clearance was able to commit such a crime, such an egregious criminal act of boxes he wanted for his library with top secret and classified data in those boxes, and how the Federal Bureau of Investigation, knowing that classified data was there, just simply told him to put another lock on the storage facility. That was in June. He would have gone into the specifics, and he would have twisted and accused him of everything under the sun if he actually committed a crime. Okay? Don't believe the nonsense that I don't want to get involved. Trump's being investigated in Georgia, New York, the federal government. How many? There's other investigations too. There's about 2 or 3 or 4 criminal probes, probably 3, I think, criminal probes, 3 major ones. The other ones have just fizzled away, and they're really nothing. New York, they couldn't find anything. Georgia, they can't find anything on him pressuring officials. And all you hear is, this Trump ally is being forced to testify. There's no crime. They just want to get people on process crimes the way they did with the Mueller probe. So there's no crime. But the interesting thing is, even though you have only Democrats in the Mueller probe, only Democrats in Georgia, only Democrats in New York, only Democrats with Merrick Garland going after Trump, they are petrified. With Trump possibly installing loyalists. Well, who do you think is in the federal government now? Only Democratic loyalists. Only loyalists of the Democratic Party. You can't even watch late night. You can't even watch late night. Good luck getting a GoFundMe if you're a conservative. You can't you can't really talk about what you want to talk about on social media. Everything is tailored towards the Democratic Party. They have every conceivable advantage, from late night to the federal government to intel agencies, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, the New Yorker, the Atlantic, Esquire, Vanity Fair, Rolling Stone. It's like every publication, Los Angeles Times, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Arizona Republic. Every single swing state has the major publication directly linked to the Democratic Party, just spouting the same narrative all the time. We're supposed to have a free press. There's supposed to be different viewpoints. There is only one viewpoint towards Trump. Only one. And then almost half the electorate says, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And then Democrats say, well, obviously our viewpoint that he worked with the Kremlin is correct. Everyone's saying it. The vantage point of a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat is that, well, everyone's saying what we believe. Because everyone's aligned. Everyone you're reading or listening to is aligned with the Democratic Party. These are all liberal Democrats. When they say, experts say that this conservative expert on this topic is wrong, those experts are liberal Democrats. Those historians are liberal Democrats first. Generally, when you look at a bunch of different topics we won't even talk about, there are people who are willing to say, no, that's not true. The prevailing mentality isn't true. Let me look at the numbers. Look at the data. Look at the evidence. And then they're accused of information that's amiss. Not false information, because they're looking at the numbers. The information is not being viewed in the manner that all the highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrats view it. Then, if you actually form a rebuttal now, you are now guilty of bad information, not false information. These are all euphemisms. When they say it's mis, it's not just for the algorithm type of information. Mis type of information is leading to people using the law. How many times has the prevailing mentality been wrong, only to backtrack as if they were never wrong? You can long list. And there's a long list. Okay, there are 2 people who are absolute treasures, American treasures, okay, to this country. And they're really wonderful. And it's a couple, and they have a channel and everything, and you probably know who they are. But just I should tell you the channel and who they are, but you probably know who they are. And they've been right from day one. And they have been disparaged, and they have had to deal with the most unfair treatment, but they have been amazing. And if the evidence pointed to a liberal viewpoint of things, they would have then, just because these are actually former liberals, or they were liberal on a lot of things. But that's just an example. I mean, you should probably know who I'm talking about anyway. But they're absolutely wonderful. And the reason I don't bring them up is then be like, he's bringing up this and that. So, but that's just an example of how society runs now. You can have a viewpoint that is based on logic and reason and fact and data and evidence. It will be called essentially bad information. It's misleading. Not it's a rebuttal that we have to then engage and refute. No. We can't refute that. We have to say, well, the prevailing mentality disagrees. Anyway, and that is what leads to people's demise, not, blindly adhering to the apoplectic, hysterical coverage of whatever media focuses on. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. He would have explained exactly how classified data going to Mar-a-Lago was a crime. Just like he could have explained how top secret intelligence, and nobody knows how, being funneled to secret servers was a crime with Clinton. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Oh, by the way, I'll have a live stream tonight at around 8 p.m. Pacific. Be here tonight.